All right. So again, I am Marin May. I am located in sunny Southern California. Well, it's not very sunny right now, in Redondo Beach. And like I said, I'm the VP of Partnerships at Radius, but I'm also a lover of all things real estate and really excited to welcome Piper today to share with us a little bit more about crypto. I think we all hear all kinds of talk about, hi, Lee, welcome. Um, we hear all kinds of talk about crypto and Bitcoin and what does it mean and how's it going to affect our real estate and how do you do a transaction if you have a client who wants to do a crypto transaction. And so I thought this was really, really relevant information for our Radius community to get from Piper. She's, like I said, I've known her for years and she's an amazing human and a wonderful real estate professional. And so I'm glad that you guys are all getting connected with her today to learn a little bit more about crypto. And with that, I'll let her take it away.
Oh my God. Well, thank you. And you know what? I'm going to be referencing my second screen here just because it's like I've got my presentation and I've got you guys. So if I like look over here, that means I'm like looking at your faces. So yeah, thank you so much for having me. I've been looking forward to this for like a month now. So and I think we're going to get really, really busy with this kind of stuff in the next 6 to 18 months because historically speaking, we're going to have another bull run. You guys are going to get so many more calls from people, and it's some are going to be legit and some are going to be scammy. So you kind of need to know how to sift through all that and get to the meat of it and see. And like there are like legitimate clients out there that are going to want to start spending their gains on tangible assets. And so what's happened in the last 2 cycles is that I get a ton of phone calls from realtors saying, I have a legitimate client. I have no idea what to do. Help me, and I'm not gonna have time for that this time. So I'm trying to like get ahead of everything and educate as many realtors as I possibly can. So you can do this on your own because it's a really cool opportunity. It's a great new way to reach a new generation of clientele and to add this to your real estate toolbox because it's legit. It's not just a buzzword. And I do want to talk to the Web3 guy at some point. I definitely want to keep in touch with you because we've got some really cool stuff going on at the moment. But I just want to take the temperature. I want to see like who here is brand new to crypto, has no idea what the heck I'm talking about. They're kind of like crypto curious, and who is like full-on investor, maybe even like a dabbler. Like I've got like a little bit on Coinbase, a little bit here. I just want to take like a little bit of a poll here. I'd love to know who I'm talking to. Anyone?
I'm not really familiar about all the crypto investments and how a possible buyer can definitely buy a property with crypto. I wouldn't know how to help them out.
Okay. And Lisa's middle of the road. Okay, fantastic. I don't know. Let me just speak to the expert part. If anybody claims that they're an expert in this, they're lying because it's constantly changing. I mean, it's impossible to keep up with, So, just so you know, like I'm constantly learning and there's always something new. Let's just put it that way. Anybody else?
I see Athene just joined us. She's in Marina Del Rey here in Southern California too.
Fabulous.
Yes. So sorry. I thought I didn't note that the time changed. So I thought it was starting at 10 a.m.
It did start at 10 a.m. I don't know what happened with that calendar invite. I'm so sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you're perfect. We
Okay,
just
awesome.
started.
Yeah.
And Piper's in Redondo Beach. She's near us.
Oh, good.
So, yeah, we can all connect actually.
For sure.
So we were just talking about. Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say, I feel like I don't really know much about crypto. I have friends that, have a diversified portfolio. And I don't know. I feel like it's almost too late. It seems that my friends that invested in crypto did that, many years ago. And I don't know. So then I'm like, well, jump on the bandwagon now. So I'd love to hear your insight.
Oh, sure. Yeah. And like, I'm going to keep like the presentation part relatively short. It's like 30,000 foot view of like what's going on. I put crash course at the crash course because I have a crash course on our website that, I just kind of direct people to give you like, an hour's worth of like really helpful content, because you're going to have a client that's going to call you, I would say like, by the end of the year and into the next year, like wanting to possibly purchase. And I just want you guys to be armed with this stuff. So yeah. And to your point, you're not too late. I mean, I can give you my whole sob story of my investments and all that stuff, but there's a lot of opportunity here. Whether it's Bitcoin or Ethereum or another altcoins, it's just you just need to know how to research. That's all. So key takeaways.
Lee raised his hand.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Oh, where'd it go? I just lost it.
Oh, you're muted.
I had some input or comments on our experience with crypto. We've never pulled the trigger on it, but Dylan, who's on this call, is my crypto guru. We flip houses and we build houses. It helps us drive business. We pick up buyers off of it. We have listings in the area because our signs are in the yard, so it's really helpful. So it's one of our strategies. But the last house we flipped, we were like, hey, should we attach, Dylan, what was it called? Like a digital artwork? I forget what there was like
the NFT?
NFT, yes. We were trying to we were thinking about taking the rendering, making it an NFT, and then selling the NFT. And by the way, you get the deed to this property with the NFT.
Yeah.
And that our hope in doing that, and again, we never did it, was to appeal to a global market, right? Like, hey, not only are you getting an NFT, but you're getting a piece of real estate. So it's not like some digital painting that somebody paid millions of dollars for and now it's worth $50. It's like, hey, this thing's really going to hold its value. I don't know. That was our thought process. I don't think we could ever figure out like the mechanics on how to pull it off, but Dylan runs in a crypto heavy crowd and he knows a lot about it. So I pulled him in, but it was the NFT and the real estate and the attaching the two. And it was a very cool concept, but we never could figure out how to pull it off.
Well, I can tell you how to pull it off. It's a whole separate conversation. I mean, I will touch on NFTs just a little bit in this course. I mean, because we've kind of like limited on time. NFT? But what's that? Oh, sorry. We're going to get into that non-fungible token. Let's just back up a little bit, and yeah, we will like put a pin in that, and we're going to definitely talk about NFTs and the use cases. And like they were like super popular a few years ago. And now they're like, not really worth a lot, but I think there's a different use case for NFTs in real estate, and we'll get into that. So basic terms for all my newbies here. And I will share this. I'm more than happy to share my slides. I'm all about like sharing the information. So, we can all benefit from it. So, I'm not going to go through this, line by line, but, Web3 is kind of like, is where we're going right now. It's shared information on the blockchain. Blockchain technology is what backs all of the cryptocurrency. Like you can have a blockchain without a cryptocurrency, but you can't have a cryptocurrency without a blockchain. That's the underlying technology. Smart contracts will definitely come into play with real estate. That kind of goes in with the NFT part. Cryptocurrency, we all know it's a digital currency. Altcoin is important because it's anything that's not Bitcoin. All right. So you'll hear these buzzwords a lot. And then when I refer to fiat, that's really just government-backed money. Doesn't matter what it is. I want this to be more of like conversation rather than like me just regurgitating information. So tokens are like a little bit different. There's fungible and then non-fungible. So fungible is like $1. Like I can give you $1, you can give me $1. That's a fungible way of paying for things. But non-fungible token is like it's unique to that piece of real estate, that artwork, that piece of music or whatever. So it represents one thing, one unique value in the real world typically. unless you're buying like a JPEG, which I think is kind of silly. But anyway, then we've got DeFi, decentralized finance. You'll hear a lot about that in the coming months. And then mining, this comes into play with lending rules a lot too, because miners in the past have had a difficult time collateralizing or like turning their Bitcoin into US dollars and so forth, because there's no, it's like new Bitcoin that's being mined, so to speak, and there's no, you can't trace it anywhere, so they were having like a little bit of problems, with the banking and all that, but it's kind of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac have kind of changed their tune a little bit on this, so it's becoming more of a norm. Like they can prove that they've mined this, and it's traceable back to that like one origin point. So anyway, I don't want to get too techy on you guys. So those are our basic terms. And so this biggest question I get is why even bother with this? I'm doing just fine. I've been doing the same thing for 30 years. I'm okay. Well, I'm here to tell you, I've been doing this since 2016. And more people are turning to crypto because they're making money in it. And we're about to have another, like I said, another bull run. And it's brand new era investors, a lot of millennials. They're the biggest group that are investing in crypto at the moment. A lot of them don't have traditional bank accounts. I've had clients come to me that say, hey, I get paid in crypto. How can I pay my rent in crypto? And we're getting closer and closer to that, being able to help those types of clients. A lot of newfound wealth. And here's an interesting stat. 2021, 12% of first-time homebuyers had help with crypto. A lot of them mainly just cashed out, and took the capital gains hit. You're going to take the capital gains hit no matter what. But think about that. That's a lot. I mean, if you like average it, the average price point nationwide, it's nothing to sneeze at, really. And so it was down in 2022 because it ebbs and flows. And this next time, we just had a halving, and I'll get into that in a second. But historically speaking, after the halving, we've got 6, 8, maybe 10 months lag time where the price goes up again and people start making money and they start cashing out again. And they're like, wow, I can buy a house in Southern California now. This is great. So, we're keeping our eye on that. And by and large, the transaction times really quick and direct, wallet to wallet. We can totally do that now. It's all on the up and up. NFTs, again, may become a thing. There is a slight traditional finance crossover in the fact that lenders are starting to count the crypto portfolios, into the, all of the assets. And so that really helps people qualify for more, whereas they didn't really do that. And it's a lot easier and cheaper to trade and obtain collateralized loans. Collateralized loans take a week, rather than 21 to 45 days. It's pretty cool. And the lenders that are still standing, they're like, and vouch for them. They're pretty fast and very legit. So what's next? Were there any questions? I'm having a hard time like going from screen to screen. Did anybody like have anything? No, I don't see anything.
I think that's an incredible stat. I didn't know that. 20%. That's no joke.
Yeah, 12%.
Or 12%.
Yeah, but still, I mean, like if you do the math, it's like it's still billions of dollars, So it's like, yeah, it's an untapped resource, really, for us. So this is like kind of the halving history with Bitcoin, and when I talk about the halving, it means just the block rewards, what the miners get paid to mine Bitcoin, basically. It's gone from 50 Bitcoin to all the way down to 3.125 now. And, the person or people who created Bitcoin, figured this out. They were on top of it in the very beginning. They knew exactly what was going to happen. The whole point of it was to create scarcity. There's only 21 million Bitcoin in the whole universe. And when that's all mined, it's gone. I mean, it's like it's out, it's being circulated. They're not adding any new ones, and the price is going to just keep jacking up. And then when Bitcoin goes up, all the altcoins go up as well.
So I guess the first trillionaire is going to be a Bitcoin holder.
It's very possible. It's really possible.
I think so.
Yeah. And then
It's
there's
a
more
limited commodity.
adoptions. Oh yeah. It's going to be. It's. There's a lot of like kind of crazy Bitcoin maxis out there that they're probably going to be trillionaires at some point. I would not doubt that. So here's like a historical graph. I just wanted to give you like a, kind of like an overview. This is like the all-time graph for Bitcoin. It's a tad bit old. It says 66K there, but we're inching up towards that. Just, it's around, the last I checked this morning, it was around 60.
You're making me want to go buy some Bitcoin right now. I've got to talk to you later.
Oh, I can help you. Absolutely. By the way, this is not financial advice. Okay. Just, so there's that. Okay. So client profiles. It's not just your average crypto bro, who are just like, they annoy me. But anyway, you've got your high net worth and your ultra high net worth. So 71% of high net worth individuals have invested in crypto. That's huge. And they're able to pay in full. All of my clients so far, except for one, have been able to just buy outright, and it's pretty much a cash transaction, and we'll kind of get into that. And then we've got the dabbler. My one guy, had enough for a down payment, finally, so he, and unfortunately they got to cash out, but hey, I mean, they made enough to, get a pretty nice house in San Pedro. And then we've got a next generation, like I talked about before, they may not be paid in US dollars. They may not have the traditional documentation. And I will tell you, this Gen Z that's coming up, they're not going to wait 3 days for an ACH. Crypto, it turns into a wire transfer. I mean, it's almost instantaneous. So you've got this whole generation that are just like used to having things done immediately, and I think crypto is going to play a huge part in that.
I'm sorry. So everybody has to cash out that first?
Nope. I'm going to get into that. It's you for a loan. You do, unfortunately, there's no like hybrid. You can't just like, do the down payment in crypto and then finance the rest. You have to loan on fiat, right? So you have to, unfortunately, you have to cash out, if it's a $20,000, down payment or whatever, you still have to loan on that. That's just, Freddie and Fannie, making those rules so far. But, so we have, so the two companies that I work with, I mainly work with Guarantee Escrow. I've got a long history with them. They're amazing. I presented this to them like back in 2017 after I'd done 4 transactions without the help of an escrow company moving those funds. I mean, they did everything else. They did all the paperwork. But we had to figure out how to move the funds, and it was like nerve-wracking. But they finally were the only ones that were like, yeah, we'll take a look at this. And so they've evolved into this amazing, like they can work as a sub escrow to any title company. They can move the funds. They can convert the crypto during the escrow process and wire the funds to the seller. The seller does not have to take crypto unless they want it. Or, and there's other ways to do that as well. Like we can do a wallet to wallet. We can do a cash conversion. If the seller wants to receive crypto on the end, there's ways that we can help them do that. It's really evolved in the last few years. There are platforms out there that do collateralize loans. Milo's got a 30-year fixed. They're not, Milo and Abra are not all licensed in like all the states. So I know that they're in California, and there's like rules apply depending on where you are. But we also have, partnerships with banks that can do these types of things. They have to go through what's called AML KYC protocol. And again, I don't want to get into the weeds too much, but it's basically like, we got to make sure that, you're not on some OFAC red flag list. We got to make sure that you're not from, a blacklisted country and stuff like that. We have to make sure that you are claiming who you are, which is pretty much what you do anyway in the escrow process. We just kind of do it up front just to make sure that we're dealing with with real people that aren't trying to launder.
And probably comes in and wants some kind of disclosure and proof of legitimacy, right? Dylan just asked, how do you guys go around the capital gains taxes when moving these funds back and forth from crypto to fiat?
We don't. I say get a good CPA.
Yeah.
There's I do get calls a lot saying, hey, I want to sell my house in crypto and evade, capital gain. You're not going to do that, So unless, you can offset it. Obviously, you can, purchase in opportunity zones. You can, do, purchase investment properties. I have a high net worth client that does that. Excuse me. They purchase in those zones. Excuse me. And sorry, hold on.
I just closed an escrow with Guarantee Escrow in Redondo Beach,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I worked
Wendy.
with Luke and Melinda.
Luke is awesome. Yeah, I love Luke.
Yeah, they were great.
Good.
It's Wendy's company, right?
Yep. Wendy. Yep. Gonna see her today. Awesome.
Lee just asked if you use Milo borrow against your crypto. Oh, could you borrow against your crypto?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a really good question.
Yeah, you can. And that's what I'm referring to when I say collateralized loan. A lot of people don't want to part with their Bitcoin, and I don't blame them.
Yeah, well, you're paying taxes on it, right?
Well, yeah, but so when you do a collateralized loan, there is no tax event. So that's another really good point that you can direct your clients to. People like Milo and Abra and all the other loan, the other companies that do the collateralized loan, they keep the keys, your private keys. You can't access them, and you can
Like
loan
a deed of
against
trust, right?
You got to have the collateral. That's the collateral, and we work with a bank that does up to 70% LTV, and they've got competitive rates. Yes, they're a little bit more than what you're going to pay with the bank, but it's like, hey, if I just earned all this Bitcoin because of this bull run, why not?
Why not leverage it?
Yeah, you might as well.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea. Oh, wait, did I skip one? Okay, yeah. So helping clients, the buyers, you got to be able to direct them according to their needs. So hopefully this gave you a good overview. How are we doing on time? Okay, we're doing okay. And you got to know your coins and your main wallets, because I'm going to get into scams here in a minute, and there's so much out there. So sellers, this is what I always tell people, unless they are savvy investors, it is not up to you to teach them how to receive crypto at the end of a transaction. We're not financial advisors, unless you're a really good friend of your, that's just muddy waters that I just do not want to get into. But they could absolutely take cash on the end of the transaction. And we can also help that we work with OTC desks. That's over the counter desks that can move very large sums of crypto at a time. They are all above board, of course. And it's for a pretty nominal fee. And if your clients are, say, with Coinbase One, for instance, that's for kind of the high net worth, big traders. They charge a nominal fees. You can move, massive amounts of Bitcoin or crypto at once. Otherwise, if you're kind of like the regular investor or whatever, don't really move a ton, they're going to charge you a lot to move it. So we do, again, we've found solutions to kind of like, help that person. If they need to move like hundreds of thousands of dollars at a time, we can totally do that. Okay. Oh man, it's like skipping ahead. Okay. So real quick, how to spot a scam. Buyers usually have some junk coin that they insist on paying with or refuse to verify identity or funds, and they love WhatsApp. Oh my God. So if you get somebody that's like, really super vague, yeah, like I want to buy in Los Angeles. It's like, okay, well, where? It's like Los Angeles is really big. Oh, I don't care where, I just want to fix and flip and pay with this coin and blah, blah. So you really have to dig, like, spend 5 minutes, what coin are they wanting to pay with? If you can't find it on like CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko, or it's got like a really low, why can I think of it? Like it's volume, then it's BS, and you go to Google scams, around that coin. It's just crazy. So whatever coin they say, it's going to have to be transferred into a known coin like Bitcoin, Ethereum, USDT, that kind of thing. Wendy's even done a Dogecoin transaction. So, as long, and they've got like a long list of coins that they actually will deal with, and it's pretty cool. But if the coin's not on that list, forget it. It's probably a scam. And they can send bogus screenshot, it's just a mess. So if it smells fishy, it is. Don't waste your time. Sellers, they refuse to verify ownership or identity. They just don't. I ask for everything to make sure that they own the property. I want to see passports. I want to see, if it's owned in an LLC, I want to see that paperwork. I don't care what country they're from. And trust me, I've gotten requests from all over the world. So you just need to play detective and do the due diligence. Why is I doing that? Okay. So here's how to get skin in the game. Again, not investment advice, but Coinbase is such a user-friendly platform. I would just say poke around on there and put in $5 or whatever and just watch the market, see what it does. Kind of read the news, Bitcoin news, Cointelegraph, even CoinGecko. I love following them on Instagram. They have like really robust market data news that they come out with. It's just, and you kind of know like what's going on with the market. The Telegram guy just got arrested, and that inadvertently is tied to crypto. Okay, it went down a little bit. Yeah. So. But what it's just like any other thing, like, stock markets, crazy news comes out, it's going to go down, but historically it's going to go back up. So anyway, it's a good way to just kind of get skin in the game here.
Hey, Piper, Lee
Yeah.
asked a really interesting question.
Yeah.
We wanted to know if there's a lien on your crypto, like they hold the keys. Is there also a lien on the property? How does that work?
No, because you can. So if you leverage your Bitcoin, they could. They could absolutely come for your house or whatever, but if you default on a crypto loan, they're just going to keep your crypto.
What about when you go to sell the if you've secured the property with crypto?
Yeah.
And you want to go sell the property, how is that company notified about the sale to pay off the loan, that crypto?
Oh, okay. So like Milo, for instance, that's a really good question. So I think that, say, like if you're going through somebody like Milo and you've got like a crypto, tied to a 30-year fix, it's going to act as the same as a traditional conventional like loan, because like your house at that point, yeah, that is the collateral. But if you were to say like not use Milo, like go to like another crypto bank, and, say leverage, you're going to leverage like $1 million of Bitcoin, you can use that money for anything you want. It doesn't have to even be a house, I mean, you can,
a plane.
it could be anything.
Shared
Yeah.
access.
They don't care. Yeah. It's like, and if you default on that, they keep your crypto, so it's pretty plain and simple with that. But like Milo's thing, it's like, it's pretty much a conventional loan, but it's crypto, so yeah.
But nothing's recorded on the actual title of the property. Interesting. Oh, interesting.
Yeah. It's not, I think we're going to eventually move there, at some point. I don't know if it's going to be in our lifetime,
beauty
but
of blockchain, right? Which we
right?
too. So that's a whole nother story, right?
A whole other story. But yeah. So here's how to get a hold of me and all the resources that I put up and everything. And I gave you guys a 30% discount on the crash course if you want to check that out. But yeah, and when we've got like 10 minutes for questions, I would just love to like stop talking and answer questions.
If somebody wants to has a client that wants to do a crypto loan, how would they potentially partner with you? What would that look like? Would they need to partner with you? How can you help with the transaction? What does that
Absolutely. Yeah, we can. Well, so we would, probably do like a little bit of an intake, get the, get basic information, all of that. And then we would put you together with one of our partners, whoever, kind of, whoever suits your needs the best. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all it is. We would just make introductions.
In every state, right? This is in every
yes,
state.
Yeah. The one particular one I'm thinking of is they're licensed in every state.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And most title companies can handle the crypto portion of the purchase along, like, or how do we work with that? Like, obviously in Southern California, escrow separated, but in most like Lee's in Texas. So most of the title companies in Texas be able to handle.
I would contact, so like title wise, so where it gets a little funky, for lack of a better word, is like if it's a wallet to wallet, those are like so few and far between right now. But there's a company called Millennial Title. I think they're based in Kentucky, but they've got like, they're licensed in like 23 states, maybe even more now. They're not in California. They can underwrite something like that.
Okay.
When I spoke to Ben, he's like the most blockchain friendly title guy that I know.
And he's a first American.
Yeah. And Patty too. Patty's great.
Patty's at Tycor now.
Yes, she's a Tycor, but she's like, Patty. But last I talked to Ben, like he said they can insure if the purchase price is listed in fiat, and he was like, absolutely, we can underwrite it, but it's got to be based on the fiat price. It can't be like in units, and I owe Ben a phone call because I want to like make sure. I just want to see if like anything has changed from that. But for instance, like, I have a broker colleague in Colorado who sold a commercial property for Ethereum, and they sold it in units rather than the fiat price. You know what I mean? So it was like, okay, how do you ensure that? But those are like kind of one-offs. Those are kind of like the outliers. So most of your transactions right now are going to be crypto to cash. And if it's crypto to cash,
then you're good to go.
You're good to go. It's a non-starter. So yeah.
Any questions from the crowd? What's everyone thinking out there?
It's like drinking from a fire hose.
Yeah. So Piper, just want to ask you, so you're saying that they have to cash crypto, then buy. What about if they want to do a transaction that would be like a cash transaction, but just using crypto?
So, so like if they have all crypto,
or they want to buy a house, and they want to pay,
and they want to pay in crypto, that that's exactly what we're that I was
Okay.
referring to. So what we would do in that case, and that's going to be the, if you have a crypto buyer, there's going to be a really good chance that they've got enough money to pay for the whole, property in crypto.
Right.
That the seller 9 times out of 10 is not going to want to take the crypto. So they just send their crypto directly to Wendy. They hold it in escrow and they convert it to cash at the end of the transaction. So
Okay.
there's, it just gets converted during the escrow process. So it
gets converted at closing?
Yep.
Okay.
And it's quick and it's easy, and it's pretty much just like a cash transaction, except there's a crypto component.
I have a question.
Mhm.
Excuse my ignorance. I'm just not super knowledgeable in
No, it's
your
okay.
guys' company. What particular services do you guys provide? Is it like consultancy? Is it, or can you give me a little bit of
Well,
insight on that?
Absolutely, yeah. So first and foremost, we're a brokerage. I absolutely, this is the part that I absolutely love. We do consulting, we do education. We are, moving towards, we also have a crypto concierge service that we've found a huge need for. We have, high net worth individuals, and even medium net worth individuals that need asset management from beginning to end. The end usually results in buying a property, so they need help with wallet infrastructure, they need help with keys and all this other stuff. So we found kind of our niche in that as well. But yeah, first and foremost, we're a brokerage.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Piper, I just looked up Coinbase and they say that they charge like a 25% commission. Is there another
They can.
platform that you recommend?
There's several. Coinbase is the most, I hate saying it, user friendly.
Yeah.
Especially if you're like a beginner.
Okay.
If you're just, going to be like kind of dabbling in it, putting in $100 every now and then, I would just say Coinbase is fine.
Okay.
One thing that Kraken is fine too. They're like now getting sued by the SEC. So anyway, I would just stick with Coinbase.
Okay.
But yeah, so another, kind of warning here is that, anything over maybe like $1,000, just lock it down. I don't know my passwords anymore. You got to get like a password management system. Don't put the email in your name, like Piper Moretti 12, whatever. Don't do that. Keep it on a what we call cold storage, which is kind of a thumb drive, let's say, for crypto. And that's offline. You gotta, that's your responsibility. This is why, people love crypto so much and hate it at the same time. It's because you're not trusting a bank to hold your money for you.
It's not regulated, right? It's not
Right.
regulated, yeah.
Yeah. That.
Or is it?
It's still in that gray area. They are, Congress keeps talking about, they've kind of, the rules are starting to get a little bit more clear, but I welcome regulation, because banks, there's going to be like more, mass adoption. Once those rules become clearer, I'm okay with it, because it's only going to help, I think, crypto. Other people that are just like, crypto bros, all that.
Well, then they can figure out ways to tax it more. So
yeah, well, that's true too.
Yeah, I'm sure it's coming. What about Dylan mentioned MetaMask for asset storage? What's that all about?
MetaMask is an online hot wallet, so to speak. It lives in your browser. Look, I have it. I don't keep a lot of money on it because it can be very vulnerable to hackers. So it's it does help you. Like if you're getting like really into the weeds, like, oh, I'm going to have my Solana wallet, and I'm going to have I'm going to trade on Jupiter, and, all these other platforms that you want to get like meme coins and altcoins that you can't find on Coinbase and all that. It's really good for that. But again, like, keep it locked down, like, keep a password management system, otherwise it's susceptible to.
So I shouldn't use the same password that I use for my other 75 accounts.
Absolutely. Your pet's name and then 1, 2, 3. That's perfect.
The
Right.
street I live on and my birthday, right? Yeah.
Yes, and your birthday. Perfect. Yes. Listen, I didn't think it could happen to me because, like, who am I? I got hacked a few years ago, and I can talk about it now, but it was like devastating, because I was naive. I was like, oh, who's gonna hack me? And then I started to like kind of like get a little bit more known in the crypto world, and boom, and it happened to a lot of us at the same time that were in the crypto real estate space. It was insane. It's like the guy just went around and was like, let's get them, it's crazy. So live and learn.
Any other questions out there, guys? I have a good one if somebody else doesn't have one. Anyone have any questions? How could agents use this cool approach to potentially market their listings or themselves to buyers?
First of all, know your stuff. Get the vernacular.
They could partner with you to help.
Absolutely partner with me. Absolutely. I'm more than happy
would
to
it
do
help
that.
if you have a listing and you're like, sellers are open to crypto purchases, or as a buyer's agent, you can be like, now working with clients to do crypto transactions. Is NAR comes into play too, right? We're dealing with all these like seller concessions, and are there ways to leverage crypto in a meaningful way? And
I would say be creative. There's nothing wrong with, seller will accept crypto, as long as they're really willing to accept crypto and, all that. I've put that down in my listings. I would absolutely, put on social media, all that. There's crypto, I hate to say sites like Discord, they've got, I hate Discord so much, but it's because I'm old, but Discord has like a crypto real estate, channel that you can, get on. We were in Decentraland there for we are in Decentraland still, but like for a hot minute, but that's no longer a thing. But yeah, there's like creative ways to get out there. Facebook, probably not your audience, but Instagram, Threads, Twitter. If you're still
Twitter.
on that. Yeah. No, I have my things. Some people still like Twitter. I don't.
So, Piper, why do we have that condition that seller has to be willing to accept crypto when at the end of the day, the closing can convert in cash?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Exactly. But people don't realize that, right? So at the end of the day, it's actually a traditional real estate transaction. They just need to convert their crypto into cash and cash it out during the transaction. But I think a lot of people don't realize that. So it's something to talk about is my thinking for you guys.
Yeah. And it opens it up to, potential new buyers. It's like, oh, you can take my crypto and I don't have to, it's just like one easy transaction and I don't have to like cash out, then move it and all that. But, but on the flip side of that, there are sellers out there that will accept crypto and that they're savvy investors and they're like, nope, I only want crypto for this, but it's going to narrow the pool a little bit, but it's entirely doable.
Yeah, you could even go market yourself if you go into like chat rooms and places where people who are like really excited about crypto hang out. You can go in as a real estate expert and chat it up with those folks and be like, hey, I'm a crypto friendly real estate agent, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, without things too scammy.
Exactly.
Check me out, like all my profiles, I will never give you.
Right? Did you know you can actually purchase income property with your crypto? I'm happy to.
Yeah, when you list the property, you can put the different kinds of option, like cash, FHA or VA, and then you put crypto. It doesn't
You
matter.
can absolutely do that. Here on our MLS, I mean, you would have to like write it in the notes or whatever. But up north, I didn't realize this until a agent told me about it. In San Francisco and Silicon Valley, they have a drop down of we'll accept crypto in their terms. So I was like, wow, we don't have that, but they do. But that makes sense because they're in Silicon Valley. So
Yeah, they get it. Yeah, it's more accessible.
Yeah.
Any other questions before we wrap it up, guys? Does everybody have Piper's contact information? Questions?
Yep. And I can share the decks, if you need them, no problem.
Yeah, for those of you, a few of you logged on late, Piper's happy to share the deck. She can email it out to you, or I
I
don't
can
know.
just email it to you guys and you can,
Yeah.
whatever. All right. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
I have one more question. Sorry.
Yeah.
Me and my buddy Lee over here, he's with, sorry, 1 second. He's actually with his own brokerage. It's called Martin Column Real Estate.
Mhm.
If me and him wanted to learn more about how to shift into the NFT side, like we were previously asking,
Yeah.
how could we, contact you and kind of learn about, about that?
Just, you know what? Drop me a line. I don't think my
Can
personal
we put
line is
your
on here.
contact information in the chat, Piper?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's like Piper at the Crypto Realty Group. That'll come straight to me.
Do you have a phone number?
Yes. Did I not put it on? I did not put it on there. Where's my chat?
It's not on this last slide. I see that there's
Well, I must have been saving that for the best part. So, okay, 424-262-1995. That's my number. And then Piper at the Crypto Realty Group.com.
That's what I type it for you.
Yeah, that'll come straight to me.
Have that in the chat.
Sorry I didn't get to the NFTs.
Do you think that people would pay more for a piece of real estate because it's not just real estate, it's an NFT? So like if the fair market value is 1.2 million, or let's just say $1 million, but you have some guy in Dubai who just needs to get rid of some Bitcoin. He's like, man, I would pay $5 million for that NFT, but it's actually got real estate attached to it. So I'll pay $5 million for that NFT. And hey, it's got $1 million in real estate attached to it. That's great.
In theory, no. I mean, it's like we went through this back in 2022. Like I've got some stories, but like we had people approach us and say, hey, I want to NFT my property. It was hot for like a minute, and there was, case in point, there was a guy in Thousand, like Proppy did one successful one. They did 3. The other 2 weren't so successful. Trust me. There was a guy in Thousand Oaks, I think, here in Southern California, who was trying to get on the bandwagon with the NFTs and whatever. Hit that neighborhood. He had a listing. That neighborhood's comps is about $1 million, right? He had like this NFT artwork that was done of this just okay house. It wasn't like a luxury. It was just like a normal neighborhood, and he was charging $2 million because of the stupid NFT that was attached to it. But the NFT had no other function other than being a picture that came with the property, and it failed miserably. Like nobody's going to pay double the price. And I've had other people call me like, I've got a luxury home in OC. I think I can get $1 million. It's only worth 10 million, but I think I can get 100 million because I'm going to NFT it. And I'm like, you're not going to do that. Like, it's just like, real estate's going to be real estate. It's going to be what it's worth, and I just don't think that, in my experience, there's still buyers, and they're not going to want to pay any more because they're using crypto, like there are.
It's a small percentage of the population,
yeah.
Right? So are you limiting yourself if you do that? I don't know. you
I
could probably
mean,
purchase it with or without an NFT. And aren't NFTs transfer? I mean, I don't know. I'm still,
NFTs are transferable. Yeah, absolutely. So, I know we're over, but like, let me just give you my long and the short about the NFTs. So, NFTs is like purchasing an NFT in front of the property only creates more friction. Okay. But if you have an NFT that is tied to the property, like there's a really cool use for an NFT that's tied to the property, but it comes with a caveat of it's got to be in perpetuity. Otherwise it doesn't work. So like I can take a house, like say it's a new build. I can put all of the information, all of the building materials, all of the appliances and the wiring and the piping, like all the vendors and the warranties that come with it. I can encode that into this NFT that follows the deed wherever, in perpetuity. But the next person, the next buyer has to keep that up. Like any updates have to be updated within that NFT. And like at some point one buyer is going to be like, I don't care about the NFT so much, and then it's just not going to be updated. That would be like a really good use case. But putting an NFT as a condition to buy the property, we tried it in 21, 22. No, it just doesn't work, and I hate to, say that, but it's just not a good use case because you're really, really limiting your buyer pool. So that's my 2 cents. 3 cents.
sounds like your idea just got shot down, Lee. I don't
Sorry,
know.
I know. We were way ahead of you.
I mean, I could build a piece of quote unquote artwork, upload it to the internet, call it an NFT, and sell it for $100 or $1,000.
You could.
Or $500,000.
Yeah.
And there's absolutely nothing attached to it.
Besides you get the ownership rights that's encoded within that NFT. You can show it in your wallet. Hey, I own this, Bored Ape or whatever that's like lost 95% of its value. Mm-hmm. I paid $200,000 for it and now it's worth, $1,000. Great. But you're basically like owning a JPEG but listen, like it was a huge, they're not done. I mean, but there's just like, again, it's like, they're just kind of like, the use case is just kind of shifting.
So best case scenario is that I attach an NFT to the real estate. It's worth $1 million. Now it's worth $1,001,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What's something worth? What someone's willing to pay for
exactly.
It, right?
Yeah.
And to add on to that, I think like I was kind of speaking with Lee about this previously. I think the use case to answer for his question, like if you wanted to charge more for an NFT that's attached to real estate, you'd have to find some sort of extra added value or utility that's included into the NFT contract itself to be able to then charge for what you're looking for.
100%. Yeah.
And usually that's like innovative or creative, something,
Yeah. Yeah. And it better be, and like, I mean, not to say that nobody's going to pay for that. Like, I would love to be able to like, buy a new build, and have all of the information that went into anything, like, like, where did you get this faucet? My faucet broke a year later. Like, oh, I can just, that information is that, but it's again, it's like putting it in front of the sale doesn't make sense. Charging more for it, yeah, you could charge like a little bit for it, but it just, and unless there's another use case that we haven't discovered yet, it's just, it was cool for like a minute, but yeah, sorry. I hate bringing you bad news.
I just always see that picture of like a monkey in my head.
I know, that's the Bored Ape.
Yeah.
Yeah. God. Yeah. Great. Love it.
Well, I'm really grateful for everybody's time today and the conversation. And I know I learned a lot. Piper, I'll be following up with you to find out where I should put some money in crypto because I've not actually taken the leap of faith. I might as well, right? If you say
you got to,
I'm not a gambling girl, but God knows I blow enough money on food and wine. I could throw a little into some crypto too.
Take your wine budget. Yeah. Put Put a little bit in there.
Somebody needs to not have a wine budget, and that person is me. But yeah, so I'm really, really grateful. You guys all have Piper's contact information. And really grateful that you came. I hope it wasn't too confusing with the calendar invite. I apologize about that. And yeah, reach out if you need anything. I'm always here to support you guys. Piper's here. Have a great
Thank
day.
you.
Have a
Thank
great
you so much.
Thank you.
weekend. Be safe and be well, and go sell some real estate.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your
Thank you.
time.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.